for you just as long as Robin, and I'm not getting paid as much. No time for jokes, Batgirl.
Yeah, the gender pay gap, non-existent.
No jokes, Batgirl.
No time for jokes.
Wait, let me find.
No.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
That's terrible, dude.
Oh no. Oh no.
I hate your profile pictures, but each time I look at it, I just,
Wait, what is this?
what is this?
Wait, listen.
A ticking bomb.
Holy, breaking and entering! It's Batgirl!
Quick, Batgirl, untie us.
I've worked for you a long
No
time,
time
and
for
I'm
jokes,
paid less than
Batgirl.
Robin. Equal pay for men and women.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
It's no joke.
The 60s, man.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
This isn't a joke.
Terrible! No!
That was great. Oh my god.
Gotta love the 60s.
No time for jokes, Batgirl. We gotta get to work. Ay.
Oh my gosh. No time for jokes, Batgirl.
We're just gonna say that all episode. Times for
Episode 1.
jokes.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
Is that just silent?
You're just gonna say the jokes.
No time for jokes,
Batgirl.
Batgirl. I love that I already clicked record, and that's the first thing we got on.
That's a good way
You're
to start.
lying!
It's a good way to start, just straight on, and then do the introductions. That's the hook that'll get the
Yeah,
people.
that'll get them. I'm sure they'll get them. Oh my god.
Do the intro. Do the intro.
Do the intro. Cheerio.
on,
Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the C-Zone. I'm your host, Cesarito, joined by two co-hosts. We have Awanis and we have Mr. Scooper.
You can't be doing a British voice, man.
We're all British. We're all gonna be British.
I can't believe you've done this.
Ah!
I can't believe you've done this. Alright.
Can't believe you
Can
done
I have 2 cups of water, please?
May I have some water? I'll give you 10. How thirsty are you? Because I'm very... You must be parched. Here, let me quench your thirst.
No time for jokes.
No time for jokes, back. We must get those cups of water.
I was like, sure thing! And I freaking filled it up real fast.
That was the fastest order you've done.
Nah, the tomato sauce, please.
The tomato sauce.
For context, I want to explain the story.
Oh my gosh. I think it was at work, I think it was last Wednesday or some crap. And freaking, oh, it was so slow. And then there's this one customer that just comes up to me and I'm like, hey, what do you need? And she's like, have 2 cups of water, please. I was like, British accent. And so I'm like, in my head, I'll give you 10, bro. And I just start, I give her the eyes so fast. I got 4 British people that day. Because each time my coworker would just send them straight to my window. And she told me that. And I was like, I love you so much. The second guy, I don't know, he wanted a burger and fries or something. And I was like, what sauces would you like? He's like, can I have tomato sauce, please? And I was like, I'm sorry? And he was like, have ketchup. And I turn around and I can hear them giggling behind me. I'm like, I'm a dumb American, bro. I'm such a dumb American.
Tomato sauce. Do you mean tomato milkshakes? Ketchup packet, I say.
Apparently, one of the guys had asked my friend Andrea for marinara sauce. He's like, can I have marinara sauce, please? And we're like, this is a burger joint?
Wait, why did you want marinara sauce at a burger joint? What the?
Exactly!
I was like, oh, like pizza, maybe like breadsticks or something, but then it's a burger place.
We're literally, the name of it is Bayside Burgers. And you can see the menu up top. It's like a burger, a bacon burger, a chicken sandwich, chicken tenders and fries.
Marinara
Fries.
sauce.
Oh man, can I have mayonnaise?
Cup of
sauce,
water.
please?
Have a cup of marinara sauce
And
with
then
some mayo to dip my fries in.
My crisps.
what is that about? What is that about? Because they asked me for mayo, and I was a handful of mayo. I was like,
You
What?
just scoop the mayo with your hand and go.
here you go.
Can I have a handful of mayo? I still find it weird because you guys, you don't have like packs. You just have like a tub of mayo or something.
No, we have those little mayo packs.
Oh, okay. I don't know why when you were describing this, I was literally imagining you getting like a jar of mayo and just dunking your hand inside of this jar.
Yo,
And being like,
handful of
here you
mayo.
go. Be like, I was like, wow, that sounds disgusting. And they'll be like, oh, thank you so much, darling. And then you're like, you can dip your fries in my mayo-filled hands any day.
I mean, I'm just kidding.
I would not be
What?
opposed to such
I didn't
reasoning.
You know, if it happens, it happens.
That's a disgusting visual. I don't even
If it
like
had been
mayo. Do you have
You
okay.
don't?
No, I don't. Do you guys like mayo?
Okay,
What on
I-
certain things?
my
I
thing
know.
about mayo is like, I like it, but like not
On its
too
own.
much.
Okay.
Not definitely
Just
not
in
on its own.
quantity.
You guys
know-
don't drink it with a straw?
Dude, funny enough.
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
Why do you guys have stories about that?
It's not about mayo, but you go ahead. I want to.
Oh, mine is about mayo. Okay.
Yeah.
My grandpa Danny used to do it. He loved mayo so much that he would actually snack on mayo. So he would go to the kitchen, open the fridge, get the jar of mayo, get a spoon, scoop it, and put it in his mouth.
That sounds like people do with peanut butter.
I do that with peanut butter.
Like
yeah.
I feel like peanut butter is more
Visualize that?
reasonable though. Like I eat peanut butter. It's not like I will actually like go get peanut butter straight up like that. But I understand that more than like mayo. Like what?
Yeah. No, he would straight up do that. Just go to the kitchen, get a thing of mayo, get a freaking spoonful of mayo right in his mouth.
Yeah,
That sounds so nasty
that
to me.
sounds
And then
horrible.
the smell of mayo puts me off a lot. Like, I'll
Yeah.
eat it like in a sandwich and it's good, but then when you smell it straight from the jar, I just get like kind of disgusted.
You know what puts me off like small wise? Pickles. The worst thing
Hell
ever.
nah! Pickles are good!
Pickles are disgusting. I literally had a
Pickles?
friend who's like, I'd like to order a side of pickles with this meal. And I was like, huh? And I was like, okay, whatever. So I started like eating. And all of a sudden, they bring in this side of pickles. And I'm like, dude, I need you to like eat that now or like take it away from me. Because it is ruining my appetite for this meal that I'm trying to eat. Like, you are ruining my food. And every time I've had pickles and anything, I'm like, I have to return it because the like taste of the pickle, like the vinegar or whatever, like just dumps itself into the food and ruins it. So I'm like, nah, I can't eat that. I'm just gonna return it.
So, do you just like not like vinegar?
I don't like
Or is it
pickles.
just pickles? Okay.
Well,
For me, it's the
vinegar's
opposite.
okay, but I mean, I'm not gonna eat straight up vinegar. I don't like either one.
Vinegar!
No,
Vinegar
yeah.
Good for cleaning stuff. And I'm like, oh.
You know what else is good for that?
Oh, Lord.
Bleach.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't drink vinegar. I clean with bleach. But I drink bleach. And I
Oh,
clean
okay. You clean with vinegar. Vinegar actually is good for cleaning up. But no, going back
It
really
gets the calcium buildup off of like water stuff,
like toilets,
yeah, and
sinks.
like fountain.
mountains.
Yeah,
Like-
fountains, like a water fountain.
Yeah.
Like,
You know
like
what
a-
water is?
Of
She lives in
course I know what
California. They don't know what
water
water is.
Yeah.
is. Shut up! No!
At least Scoopa knows what frozen water looks like over there.
Of course I know what water is. I'm telling you.
She's desperate for it.
Water is so good, guys.
You gave all your water to the British people.
You know, no wonder they're running out of water over there. She's like, can I have a
California's
cup
out
of
water.
water?
They're like, yeah, take this back home. They're like, oh, thank you.
Jolly good, thank you. I know. Going back to the drinking thing, I knew someone who would drink like a can of beans.
What?
Like straight up. He
Were they
was
Mexican?
no, he's Puerto Rican, which is the weird part. But he just loved beans. He was obsessed with beans, and this was when I was like, I had to be like middle school or early high school, something like that. And he was obsessed with beans, and I knew it got to a point where he's like, man, I just want to fart. And so he would just he literally be like, do you guys got beans? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And he's just like, open a can and just swallow a bunch of beans and just drink the can. And anytime you had like any other beans, he'd just be like, yeah, I'll eat it. And I'm like, bro, you got issues. Like anyone, because I remember specifically this happened because we were at like a camp or whatever, and I was like, bro, whoever's sleeping with that guy's gonna die. Like they are
It's like, get
dead.
me out of this tent.
I know. Like, it
Getting
wasn't
gassed
it
out.
wasn't me, bless, but you know, like whew, what a problem that would be.
That's so tragic. It's just like a can of like baked beans, like straight up just in all up in his mouth.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I've never had a can of baked beans. I've never even had beans from a can.
Yeah, I've never had beans from a can.
I've only had like, I remember it was funny because I was talking to my professor about this because my professor for base whatever, he's like a white guy. I was like, you know, he's from South
Sounds
Dakota.
racially motivated.
No. Well, he's not Hispanic.
He's
but
like a white guy, you know.
no, so he's from South Dakota, and he like lived in Spain for a couple years, and so he said that when he was in Spain, that there was a like Cuban cafe across from like where he was staying, and so he said he would go there every like day almost basically, and he would just get like rice and black beans. And so then he's like, I always try to learn how to make the beans on my own, but I never did. And I was like, he's like, how do you guys make it? And I was like, oh, well, I mean, we don't use like canned beans like you guys do. We get it from like a bag, you know? But I was like, but I also don't use black beans. I use like red beans.
I use the Oya.
That's a brand.
I just use the can because I'm white.
I don't use cans. I use like just like a go to a supermarket and get
You just
like
get like a bag.
yeah,
bag
like a bag
of
of
beans.
beans.
But like what beans?
And then
Like you don't even know.
they're not red. Brown
Okay.
beans?
Brown beans, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's brown beans. And then
I'm not even a huge fan of beans, to be honest. Like, I'll have a little bit, which sounds scandalous to, like, a Puerto Rican. Because they're like, rice and beans and chicken. That's, like, the go-to meal. I'll have it, like, I'll eat it, you know, but it's not, like, my favorite thing. I'll eat it more than, like, my dad. My dad refuses to eat it. He's like, no, I'm not eating it. And people are like, how scandalous. He's like, nah, I
get
won't eat it.
that. No, like, I'm kind of the same way, where, like, I like beans, but I won't eat it on its own. Like, I like it, and I can eat it on its own, but
But it's not my
probably
preferred
won't.
choice.
Yeah, it's
I
not
like-
my preferred choice.
I like to mix beans in stuff like
Right.
tacos and like big old whatever like turkey mix bowl things. I don't know what to call it.
See, I'll have, as long as there's rice with my beans, I think I'll be fine. I
As
don't-
long as I have queso fresco, rice, or tortilla, I'm good.
With
Like
beans.
tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever had that?
Let me tell you,
half of
every
that
time
one.
I go to like a Mexican restaurant and they're like serving me like tacos or tortillas or whatever, and there's like, do you want beans? I'm like, no, because you guys make like that nasty brown stuff. It's like a mess. I don't know. Like I look at it, I'm like, that looks
nasty
so.
brown stuff, like
The brown
like,
beans. I don't know. It looks. Bleh.
mashed beans. Okay, is it like a soup or is it like mashed?
It looks mashed.
Okay, so so typically what people do is they mash it with lard. My family does not do that. My family we've
Okay.
never done that. That crap is just.
It looks nasty.
We do what my family does is we mash the beans, but we use like milk. I think we use milk, and then that's it, and then you just mash it.
Alright.
And it's
See,
so
that's
good.
weird to me though, because we don't use milk at all for beans. We just put them in the freaking pot and put water and cook it. And I mean, obviously we'll put like a little seasoning and stuff, but like that's it.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, yeah, no. Well, we do either way, like the mashed one or like we call it the olla, but you could do like the little soup thing.
Sure.
And bro, have you ever had like, okay, I'll eat them in like a taco, like with queso fresco.
I
like,
can.
Size. That crap is good. Have you ever had queso fresco?
I think I know what it is.
Hold on, let me pull up the picture.
Isn't that like you use it for like
It's-
chips?
Queso fresco is love and it's life and it's
Oh,
amazing,
so it's Shrek.
and I love it.
Yeah. No time for jokes, Batgirl.
No, I think I've had queso. Okay, that's a label. Yeah.
Ranchero.
Oh
Queso
no, I've
Fresco.
not had that. No.
It's
I thought you meant
What
like
is that? Is that just like dry cheese?
That's what it looks like. I was thinking like I was
Nah.
thinking more like
it's actually very wet.
well, I guess they would call it here. It's just called queso. Like at a restaurant, they'll serve you or queso, as they say in English.
Tart skim milk cheese. It
Queso.
is cheese.
Yeah, it's just straight cheese.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
cheese.
expecting it to be like
Isn't that
melted
just Parmesan cheese?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like melted.
No, it's
you know?
not. No. What? No.
Well, I was thinking it was for like dipping.
Oh no.
That just looks like I
queso
would.
fresco?
That looks
Like
like I would
you-
season it
you-
on a taco.
Oh, well, okay. You can. What I do. Cause
Okay.
I'm.
Oh boy.
It's not even weird. Okay, what I do is because I love this crap. We don't like chop it up and like crumble it over it. I get like a whole slice, like whole 2 big slices. I put it in there and I
How
eat
big
it.
is a slice? This doesn't look that big.
Well, it depends on the size.
I mean, okay, but how
My
big do they
family-
come?
My family normally gets this. Oh, how big did they come? Okay, they're like the size of they're like the size of a little bit bigger than like a patty, I guess.
Oh, like a burger?
patty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, but then what's a slice then,
But
bro?
it's
That's like a
thick.
whole thing.
But it's
But
thick.
does it like cut or does it just crumble?
It's
It
thick.
looks like
No,
it
you
crumbles.
You can cut. You can do either.
So how
it
do you
cuts,
cut it without
or
it
you can
crumbling?
crumble it. It cuts. Okay. It cuts.
I think we got that.
Wow.
Yes.
But you can crumble it.
All right.
You can cut it, but like you can crumble it
Okay.
as well.
confused.
But I just eat the straight up cut because I'm
You're
a fatty.
human.
I don't know.
So is it preferred for cutting and then, or is it preferred to crumble and like? I guess the question is, in
I do
which
both.
situations do you use any of these? Because I'm
I've
over
done
here
both.
thinking still about melted cheese.
I've done I saw about okay. I've done both. I crumble it in like if you have a bowl of food, I guess I would crumble it, but sometimes it makes a mess. Or you could slice it if you put it in a taco.
Oh, it's got like cheesecake consistency.
What? That cheese has a
What?
cheesecake consistency?
I'm watching a video. Let me see.
What?
Can you screen share this video?
Yeah.
Screen share. I need to.
Oh my
I need
gosh.
to verify this.
Like it looks like cheesecake.
This
We're
looks. It just looks
I'm
like
watching.
I don't know. It looks so dry.
It's not. It's
look
wet.
at this.
It's very wet. Right. Okay, no, that's different. Should I go get
That
mine?
looks like
Yeah, actually, that kind of looks.
I was gonna say. Well,
That
for a
does
second-
look pretty good though.
Oh, is that what you mean by
good.
Those
slice?
pictures made it
For
look
some
really good.
reason-
It's nice
no,
and,
okay.
It's nice and salty too.
It looks like it'll expire.
Yeah, the
real
picture made it look really small. Okay, I see now.
quick. That's what she said.
Look, that's how I eat it. Except I don't crumble it. I just straight up put the slice in there.
I mean, fair enough.
It kind of reminds me of cube cheese.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's my crap, dude. That.
This.
What is the sauce I meant?
Except this guy, Chile. Except I actually eat spicy, so.
This is the recipe how to make it. Maybe I should make.
That looks good, dude. I was thinking about eating before we started this, and
That's how I eat it. That's what I eat. I
Frick.
could literally make that right now.
well, next podcast we cook and talk.
Cooking, yo.
We eat and talk. It's like a sit down dinner.
It sounds
You'll
like
see. When are you buying us dinner?
buying you dinner. What?
Yeah, you're buying us dinner, no?
I don't know
For
how-
every view the podcast gets, Caesar buys us an entire meal.
whoa! I can't afford that.
Lies.
Yes, I
You
mean
have
it
money?
is. No, I don't. No, I
No, you
wish.
But you do. You
If
have
that
money.
was
You
the
have more money
case,
than I do.
okay,
Your family
yeah.
your family has more money than mine does.
No, that's definitely not true. We both know
You
that.
going to the Bahamas every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
No, I
Miss
don't!
Vacation over
Every
here.
3 weeks.
Let me go to the
Sorry.
same vacation 2 weeks later.
I don't want to go to Mexico. I was in Mexico last month.
Guys, I'm going to Colorado. Oh, cool. Guys, I'm going to Colorado again. But it's been like a month. Yeah, I know. But I'm going again.
No. Okay, no, but that was. Listen, that was like separate. Like
It's not the same.
It's not the same. Don't worry, guys. This next trip will be different.
it's not the
Oh
like,
no, she's like an abusive
So, like-
boyfriend.
The first step to recovery is admitting.
So,
She's in the
the
stages of
first
grief.
time-
She's in denial.
No, because the first time we weren't initially gonna go, but my brother wanted to go. So
Yes,
we're
you
like,
know.
okay, we'll go.
We'll go.
So, like,
you know,
It was
casually.
cool. So like my brother paid for his tickets, whatever. My mom paid for mine, and then we went. But that was for like a little vacation. And the second time
How long was this
was
vacation?
for like a week.
Uh huh.
4
Get
days. 4 or 5 days.
vacations.
I know.
And then
Couldn't be me.
yes. Shut up! That was stop. Anyways, and then the second time, it was like a week later, honestly.
A week after, yeah, it's true.
I think it was a week after. Hold on, but anyways, the second time it wasn't for I mean, sure you can count that as vacation, but like
Look at this
it
technicality.
Was
We really, it wasn't a vacation because
it was for my little cousin's first communion. Shut up, Kiva! It's for my little cousin's first communion.
They just
So,
posted a
like-
gif of the guy on the whiteboard
And then
explaining.
we were only there for like, I think we were there for a little less than a week, like 4 days, whatever, 5 days. And then
So another
we
week.
came back- Sure, another week. You know, funny enough, I was asking my mom about vacation this summer.
I mean, I know you told me that your mother was like, "Where would you like to go on your next vacation?"
Okay, so, cause like,
I don't think I've ever been on a real vacation.
We were
Yeah, she's got her
talking.
summer trip, and then she's gonna do her like fall trip, and then winter break. She's got another
Nah.
trip.
I never been on a freaking
here's
plane
the thing.
before.
what he's okay. First summer, right? So summer.
Okay.
Summer. My mom had brought it up because I think my uncle had talked to her. He wants to do like a celebration for his birthday. He lives in New York, so we were talking about New York today because I was like, "Are we still gonna go to New
Today?
York this summer? Are we still gonna go to New York this summer?" She's like, "As far as I know, yeah." Dude, I haven't been to New York in so long, but that's besides. the point.
So long.
And then,
Just in like 2 years.
actually, did I go?
Oh,
Sorry, it was actually
I-
last year.
So
I
the
want to say
last
none of
time-
this is helping your case, but
Remember, she doesn't have
We
money.
budget. We
I
budget.
didn't have
You act like we don't like try and say. You act
Oh,
like
I
we
understand
don't
that you
have, like,
budget.
everything.
You just have enough money to be able to budget for this
I
every
just have a
time.
big budget.
I'm not gonna talk about this anymore.
Yeah, keep going. You were planning about going to New York, and
And then for winter time, it's been talked about in my family for like a little bit now. But I don't know if it's confirmed or not. But we had talked about going on like a big family vacation to Hawaii in the winter time. Like for winter vacation, whatever. But I don't even know if that's still happening.
Hawaii,
so-
right? You know, your family vacation that you just bring everyone out to.
Well, everyone's paying for the part.
I
Like
know.
winter
Not that,
vacation,
like-
summer vacation. I get decade vacation.
Nah, the last time I actually did a winter summer vacation was like a couple years ago.
Oh, wow. And so
'Cause-
now you're just not sure.
Now it's just like a summer vacation.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to go to New York. I'm sorry to hear that.
Maybe. But, well,
Hopefully the Avengers aren't there, because you know.
The
well, it's
adventures.
just it's not gonna. Well, the thing is I've already been to New York like twice, so.
Casually, as one does.
Oh!
You know, I traveled all the way from California to New York twice in my life already.
Yeah, the first time was.
And you're only like
second
12.
time was for my birthday. That was the last time I went. It was
When was the last
it,
time?
it was.
Did you like New York?
Did I like New York?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
I went
Did
once.
you have pizza there?
I
Yes,
did.
I have.
Was
I
the
did.
pizza good?
Yeah.
Depends where you go,
What?
but yeah.
That reminds me. So, my tia Cello, right? She takes care of like this. She's a maid for this rich Jewish family who lives in the Hamptons. So whenever we went to New York, they would always be gone because they would be actually in the city, and we were like, we were not in the city, and so we would stay in that house. And there's this one time, so I have my second cousin, his name's David, and he's from California, born and raised in California, but he's all the way in New York with our family, with the rest of our family. So every time we come to New York, he gets really excited because he's like, my fellow Californians, whatever. And so there's one day, I think we did know he was coming, but we forgot. And so he just shows up with like 5 boxes of pizza.
Oh my god.
And we're like, what the
That's like
hell?
1 box for just me.
Nah,
I want pizza.
I want pizza too.
I remember
It's so good.
specifically looking every day for a different restaurant for pizza so we could find a good pizza place. And then the other thing that kept trying was the garlic knots. And I was like, we need to find good garlic knots here. And there was one place I don't remember any of this places are called, but there was one place that freaking garlic knots slapped. I was like, this is so good. I need them again. And we never got them again.
Garlic knots sounds so good right now, bro.
Like
Wow.
the closest garlic knots I've had. Well, the last time I had garlic knots was I don't even know, a couple months ago. Yeah, no. I had one like a week ago. Actually, now that I think about it, because of Memorial Weekend. I went to the beach that day, and then we got pizza, and then we got garlic knots.
Oh yeah,
Bro, that reminds me, dude. So I went to that restaurant, right? It was like with me, my family, and family friends, and I went to the bathroom, and that thing was like a dump, like actually, and I was like, what the heck is this? So then I walked out, and I like looked for somebody, and I was like, hey, could you guys like clean the bathroom? And the guy's like, what's wrong with it? I was like, what do you mean what's wrong with it? It's dirty. He was like, oh, okay. Well, if you want, there's a bathroom over there that you could go to. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, I'll just put a sign in front of the door. I was like, okay. So then I like look, and then I just I come back later, and the sign is still in front of the door, and someone else went to go from our table, and he's like, I forgot that they didn't clean it. I was like, they still haven't cleaned it. It's been over an hour at this point. I was like, bro, there's no way this guy has not cleaned this table. But it was it's such a mess. I think the best way to tell like how good a place is how clean your bathrooms are.
Really? That's so nasty, dude.
I went to this
It's like a
bathroom
porta potty.
once. Like I was walking and then I had to go to the bathroom, so I went to this restaurant and I'm like, "Hey, can I use your bathroom quick?" So I went in there.
You asked?
That bathroom was, yeah, because it was like one of the restaurants you go in and then like they come up to you, they're like, "Hey, you want a table?" I'm like, "Can I just use the bathroom?" But like that bathroom was nice. Like it was like steampunkish. Like there's like random pipes like with designs on them like all over the place, and
Dang.
you go into like the stall, right? This one was like top to bottom a full door, like full. It was like
Sheesh.
fully enclosed, and usually there's like gaps.
Yeah,
all
right.
And this one was like nice. I'm like, wow.
That reminds me of those like you've seen those videos of like those outdoor bathrooms, not like a porta potty, but like those outdoor bathrooms that are like
The whole world is your bathroom.
yeah, but it's like see through, and then once you go in, like it changes.
Oh,
so like you know
yes!
what I'm talking about,
I know
right?
what you're talking about. Yes.
I have
know
no
what
idea.
you're talking
You don't no idea? Oh my god! So there's these
Sounds
bathrooms.
very scary.
No.
about.
What if it
Well,
glitches
okay,
when
yeah,
you're in
no,
there?
yeah, true. What it is that these bathrooms essentially, when you lock the door, they like make it so that you can't see inside, but you can see out, which is the weird. Well, actually, I don't know. I've heard there's one place that you can see out, so it feels really
so
weird. Yeah, I like. Why would
You're
you
just like sitting there on the toilet, and then you just see someone walk by, like go right to the door, like is it open? And they're just like looking, and it's like, can they see me? Like,
You're panicking, and you're like, let me rush to the door.
Imagine you're just sitting there taking a crap, and then you see a fist fight just start happening.
Oh my god, yeah, like a food fight, just a whole brawl. You're like, I'm gonna like poop my pants. Oh wait, they're already off.
and what if the polarity reverses, and you're stuck in darkness, and then everyone else can just see you?
Yeah, isn't that scary at night though? Like low key.
I
Wouldn't that
don't
be
know.
scary at night?
Can you imagine?
The bear walks by.
It's just like, hi Yogi. Well, hello there.
Hey, boo-boo. I gotta take a poo-poo.
The bear just walks in. It's like, why can everyone see me? Yeah, but those bathrooms are concerning. I don't know. I'd feel uncomfortable. And then
I would too.
And then like those Japanese bathrooms. I don't know if you've seen like those things, but like
Those are cool.
all those features. I've never seen one, and I low key would be like scared in a way because I'd be like, "What is all of this?"
You just feel water.
Just like
You just
open
come
up
into the
sunshine.
bathroom, dripping head to toe, drenched in water, and you're like, I pressed the wrong button.
Put on shower mode. It's like deep cleaning. I remember one time, I don't know if have you guys ever like walked into the wrong bathroom? Because I've done that once.
Oh no!
Not
He got
intentionally.
yelled at.
No, actually, blessed that there was no one in that bathroom. And it was, you know what made it funnier? It was me and my dad both walked into the So me and my dad, it was at a Walmart, I'm pretty sure. And so we were like looking for the bathroom or whatever, and we didn't realize until like after, because what happened was we were like I said, we need to use the bathroom. So we were like looking for the bathroom, like, oh, it's right here. So we walked in. Whatever, we didn't think anything about it because we're like, you would think we would notice there's no like urinals or whatever, but we didn't even think about it because we just needed to go so bad. And so there was no one in there, bless. And we walked out and it was like nothing. And so then my aunt was visiting from Puerto Rico, and she's like, oh, I was looking for the bathroom. And my dad's like, oh, your bathrooms are like over there then. And she's like, oh no, the sign's over there. And then my dad's like, what? And I was like, what?
Oh
So
no!
we looked back and we were like, no way, we walked into the wrong bathroom. And we just started laughing so hard. I was so happy there was no one in there. I was like, oh my god, if someone was in there, I think I would have lost my mind. It was so awkward. They would have been like, he's teaching his son bad things. He's like, son.
Oh, how old are you?
I don't know. It was like in middle school, elementary school.
Oh, okay, that makes me sad.
No, yeah. No, it's not like I'm now. I was like middle school, elementary. But it was super funny, but it was terrifying. That was one of those things I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
I mean, I've gone into the opposite bathroom, but like, not on accident. That sounds bad.
What?
So, like,
Intentionally went into the other.
okay.
You're like, hold on, boys, I'm coming.
I didn't. That's a bad way to start it. Okay. I was like, it's hard to remember, but I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Okay.
And so it was just me and my dad. I don't know. I don't even remember where my mom was. I don't even think she was there. I think he was taking care of me or whatever. And so he just brings me in, and then I just look around and I'm like, what? I was so confused. I was just a little kid, just so confused. I just see a bunch of men just standing there. I was like, what are they doing?
Why didn't he bring you to like the family bathroom? Like,
oh my god. I remember going to the family bathroom all the time with my parents when we were really young.
Oh, Because, like, I was like, why aren't they in the stalls? Like, why are they just standing right there?
Why are they just standing there menacingly?
They're just standing menacingly.
Oh my god, this is too funny.
I don't even remember what my dad needed. I think he actually did need to use the restroom. And then I was just like, what? I was just standing there so confused. And the guys didn't, I think they didn't really do anything because they understood, like, what was going on.
They understood the assignment.
But, like,
this guy brought his kid in here, what the?
Nah.
I mean, like,
I'm pretty sure
parents
they do it all the time. Yeah, I did that. My mom would
Like-
take me into the girls' room when I was like really young, and
Yeah,
my
like, I
dad
see
would
it all
bring
the
my sister
time.
into the guys' room. It's not a big deal.
yeah.
It happened. I mean, you have to watch your kid, you know? Like, what are you gonna do? All right, sweetie, stay outside. You're like, okay, Dad.
I just need to go get kidnapped outside.
You're just asking for that. Have you ever been lost in a Walmart or like in any store as a kid?
No.
I was.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I definitely remember hearing people be like, "Sir, or whoever, your child is in the front waiting for you." But I never got lost. The one thing I do remember as a kid is, you know those like clothes racks, right? How they'll be in like
Oh yeah, you
a
go
circle.
in there.
Yeah, I
used
would
to
go
do that.
in them. My
I used
mother
to do
would
that.
kill me. She's like, "Stop running in between the freaking racks." I'm like,
That
"But
was
it's
like
fun."
the coolest place ever. That was the,
That was the
secret base.
hangout.
I know, bro. You just felt so evil in there.
You just
It's
kept
great.
going in and out, and it's just like,
Have
who's
to
gonna
keep up.
stop me? Okay. So dumb. Another thing I remember from my youth, not this isn't with stores, but I remember one time at my house. This was when I was really young. I guess I learned how to open doors, and my mom was
no.
giving my sister like a bath or whatever. We were like really young. I had to be like 4 at this point, maybe less. And so I guess my neighbor like knocked on the front door, and so I was just like, okay, I'll open it. And so I just opened the door. I have no idea who was on the other side of the door. And then my mom like has no idea I'm doing this. And so my mom hears like the lady's voice coming in from like the inside of the house, obviously. My mom says she had like the hugest panic attack. She's like, what the, how did you get in here? She's like, I think your son just let me in. I was like, and obviously I didn't know better. And so my mom was like telling my dad, she's like, we need to buy a lock. Child-proof lock. We can't just let him open the door again. And ever since then, it's just always been an extra lock on my door.
What I used to do is I used to climb out of cribs. I was so good at that. I was a master at climbing out of cribs. And so I used to live in Arizona for like 2 years, and I was still like a baby, but my uncle came over, and so I guess he was leaving that day, or I don't know what, but he had to go downstairs, right? And so I was just in there alone vibing, and I just get out, I just crawl out, but I think I fell, and you know I'm a baby, so once you
Wait,
fall,
you
it's
fell
like,
off the crib?
so I climbed out, but as I was climbing out, I freaking fell. So I'm just like crying, like, and so he's like, what? And so he goes up and he just sees me out of my crib. And then he
my
goes
gosh.
and tells my parents. And then there's this other time, apparently, same house in Arizona. I climbed out, and I know how to open doors at this point, and so I opened the door, and they just see me out there, and they're like, what the hell is this baby doing out here? I was an evil little one.
I remember I fell off my bunk bed once.
Oh, that's tragic.
Explains
I
a lot.
remember it was late at night and I was watching Dragon Ball Z. And I remember that clearly because I remember that was on the TV. And then I just remember crying and on the floor and in pain. Because I guess
What a
it was
jump.
because it was on my TV, and then I was like leaning over on my bunk bed, looking down at the TV, and I guess I fell.
Sounds like
my
a
gosh.
fever dream.
I remember my parents all the time when I was younger. They would yell at me to stop getting so close to the TV. They're like, "You're gonna go blind because you keep going to
They
that
always say
TV."
that.
Yeah.
And-
I guess we all have glasses now.
Yeah, so they were right.
No, because
And those TVs are like gave off radiation. You're like,
yeah.
you walk by and your arm hairs just go straight to the TV.
That's true. And I remember
Your
like,
guys' TV.
oh, sorry, I forgot you came into HD TVs.
Oh.
Actually, I think I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
It's so sad. You don't even know what like a square monitor looks
I
I do
remember
know. I do
that.
know what it looks like because my grandma has one.
Those clunky
So
things.
I would just, yeah. I
You know
would
how
just
heavy
stand
those
in
were?
front-
They were heavy.
Like
I don't know. It's not my
You-
problem.
the shelves that you have to put your TVs on, those have to be built sturdy to hold
Bruh,
the
no
TV on them.
kidding.
Now they can just be like so simple because it's light. but,
Yeah.
like,
Those
back
things
then-
supported a lot of weight.
And the
Yeah.
TVs were like had big, like they had like big backs. Right? Like
Do you remember the game
Stuff.
channel?
What? Like,
There was a channel specifically for playing games. It was called the game channel. Like
I've
on your
never
TV.
heard
It's
of
just-
that.
That was just
I've never
channel
heard
Or
of
channel
that in my
3, yeah. It was
life.
channel 3 or the game. It would be named 3 or game.
Yeah, well,
So-
that's because the games were plugged into the like cable outlets.
Yeah.
that would-
So like
Change it.
back in the day before HDMI's on
for AV cables.
any of that, we had to plug it in and it would go to, you would have to go to channel 3 or to the game channel, whichever one, and then you were able to see your games there.
Yeah, and you had to unscrew the port. Like it wasn't just plug in. You had to like unscrew the whole thing, and you had to put it into the wall. And one other thing, there were like 3 different things you had to plug into just to
sounds
get
like so-
Super Mario World on your little TV.
That sounds
And
like
then
so much
and then
work.
then those old systems sometimes wouldn't work. So you'd have to like take the thing out, blow on it, put it back, you had
The
to smack
classic
it in a couple
blow.
times, like, and you had to keep doing that, and then finally you'd hear the, "Pring," and then I did it.
You're like, yeah, I did it. I remember, yeah, doing all of that. I remember going on a trip once, and I was like, a pioneer of the Switch. I would bring my GameCube with me to these like trips. And I was like, yeah,
Well, it has a handle for a reason.
I know. Well, I mean, who actually took their GameCube?
You were the 1%.
I
Yeah.
did. No, actually, no, we didn't. We never
had-
took our GameCube.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
I
didn't
took
have
my
friends.
GameCube. Well, I was just going like a vacation with my family, and
Oh,
so
you see, you do go on vacation.
that was
so-
the one vacation when I was young.
Okay. No, I was
And
sure
so
you did
we
more.
went to, actually I don't even know if it was a vacation. I'm pretty sure it was that there was a hurricane coming, and so we're like, we're out. And so we were like, we're out of here. So we went to like Georgia-ish, and or wherever we went, it was gonna no, okay, I do remember that there was actually another trip that we did where we just took a what is it called, an impulse trip to like Georgia because it was snowing. So we just drove
Oh,
up to
no.
Georgia.
You're like, snow, I don't know what to do.
No, because we never seen snow. Sorry, Mr. Canadian, that we don't know
I'm
what
It's
just
snow
fine,
is.
Mr. freaking Santa over there, as old as him and lives in freaking the North Pole.
At least people like me.
Yeah, well, yeah, for
No,
once
why
a
don't
year,
you
and they
have
don't care
friends?
about you for the rest of the year.
True.
Wait, what?
They remember you like for 25 days of a year, just to be on the good
Yeah,
list.
but you know what? I'm not. I am real. I wish I wasn't.
Okay. Obviously, you can't be because you don't have a Mrs. Claus.
Oh.
At least I have Rudolph.
A red-nosed
gonna
reindeer.
do? Hey, yo, what are you gonna do with that thing?
What?
You're like,
Scoop us up,
Rudolph, with your nose so
Furry.
bright, won't you shine my day tonight?
Oh God!
You're gonna shine bright in the bed.
You can pull my slate.
Then you're probably like this. I can imagine him being like, Rudolph, light time, please. He just turns on a light. He's like, all right, I can't go to sleep without my night light.
And just like, and Rudolph goes like, ah, and like its face goes up, its nose turns on, stays there until you fall asleep.
And then once you wake up, you're fine, but you can't sleep without this freaking reindeer with his red nose. Ay.
Yeah, I remember like back at home when I'd like open the front door when the snow was really big, like the snow would go up to like their knees, like
Your
And some days you
knees.
couldn't even go outside because the snow was all the way up against the freaking door.
How do you deal with snow? To
Like,
me,
how
it
do you
seems like a
deal with
myth.
that?
It's just you have to shovel it off your sidewalk or you'll get fined.
You'll get
You have
fined
to-
for that?
Oh yeah, because if the main sidewalk isn't clear, then you can get in trouble. So you have to do that,
Ain't
and
no
sometimes if you have a nice
way.
neighbor, they'll shovel your walk too. And then you have to make sure there's room around where your car leaves, so you can actually drive out. You have to change your tires every single winter, so then they can deal with snow and ice.
Oh my god. This is like
Wait,
so
do you
much
guys
extra
put like?
work.
I've seen this. Like people will put like chains, or like.
No, that's only the extreme people.
Okay.
You just need to get winter tires, and then also
What's
to
the
dissolve
difference?
ice. Well, normal tires are better for like
Wet
smoother-
stuff.
You know, like
Yeah.
you know, like bikes. Like there's mountain bikes and normal
Sure.
bikes, kind of like that, which is more grip.
Okay.
But, like more traction, more traction and less speed, I guess.
Yeah.
And then if there's ice, like you can't really scrape ice off your sidewalk, and you can slip and fall and hit your head. But that's why
So that's how you fell out the bunk bed.
Ouch.
There's salt. And you
Aren't
have
there
to, like,
salt trucks? Am I crazy?
Yeah. There's trucks that go around dissolving ice off the road so you don't slip and get into crashes.
Oh really?
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
like snow shovel trucks. It's like trucks with big snow shovels. on the
Snow
front of them.
plows.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember one time walking home from school with my sister one day, and, like we were in high school, and there's this kid walking, and like we're all in winter gear, and this kid's on his phone, and then we just see him slip completely. He had a backpack on, so he just slipped backwards, fell, landed on his backpack, and just kept texting.
Oh my god.
It was so
Determined.
He was just like, whatever. Like, let me just finish this
He's
text.
like another day.
That happened to me one time, but I didn't slip and fall. So I was like, it was the second grade, so I was like,
Wait,
seven.
you slipped and fell?
I
Off a
didn't.
roof? Off a roof?
Ah!
Fall off a roof.
Stop. No, I told some guy that.
Did you ever tell your
her-
mom?
Okay,
I
told her. Listen, hold on. I told
Wait,
her,
for context,
Hey.
a while back, one of us was hanging out with her friends, and she climbed up a roof of like a one-story building, and then
I still don't even
slipped off
understand
of,
how
like, a
this whole
pine
thing happened.
cone and fell. And,
Yeah,
like,
I told you how
the-
it happened.
what's it called? A dead drop?
Yeah,
death
yeah, she
drop.
a death drop
Yeah,
where
the,
she just
the death drop.
she
What
just
drag queens
ragdolled
do.
onto the floor.
And then her ankle was like sore for like
A week.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was sprained. Because I had a.
She's like, I don't want to go get it checked.
Not. Well, because I didn't think it was like sprained for like a week or two. But then it kept. Like, it was still an immense pain when I walked. So I was like, oh, I think this is sprained. But I'll just keep the brace on it and call it a day.
We made fun of her so much for it. So many memes.
You made fun of me for it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't think I ever fell like walking in public. The only thing I can remember was when I was in middle school. This wasn't even walking, and it wasn't my fault either. I was in orchestra, and this was when I was first learning how to play bass. So I was a 6th grader, and someone thought it would be funny to take the stool that I was sitting on and move it away from me.
My sister did that to me all the time.
Okay, but I'm holding an instrument in my hands that is taller than me. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to go sit down, whatever. And thank God there was a wall. And so I went to sit down. I'm like falling back. Because, you're like, all right, the chair should be here. And you keep going and you're like, the chair
You
should
just
be
don't-
here.
that panic.
I was like,
That
oh,
chair should be
and I'm
here.
falling backwards. I'm holding my bass up with my right hand, and I try to grab the wall with my left, and I just fall all the way straight to the ground, and just make a thud. I'm like, boom. And then my professor's like, not my professor. I guess it would be my teacher at that point. He's like, "Is the bass okay?" I was like, I think so. Are you okay? Yeah. All right, cool.
Priorities.
He's like, he literally was like, well, here's the thing. You can heal, an instrument can't. And I was like, well, fair enough, I guess.
Have you ever had those times where like your knee just randomly decides to bend?
No.
Or is that just me?
Like
Your leg.
the wrong way.
No,
Like a bird?
no, it just like
It just goes
bends.
the opposite way.
It just like
You-
bends.
Like when you're standing, it just suddenly goes like.
Like
boom.
while you're walking or standing, it just randomly decide to bend. I
That
know it.
happened. I think that happened to me like a few times, but not like.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's
What do you
happened
mean
to me.
it just bends?
It
Like,
just
it just-
bends.
There's like less. You lose control of the muscle in your knee, so it just goes like ragdoll down for a second.
No, I can't relate. Sorry.
It's happened to me a couple times, but there's this one time where it was terrifying.
Like when you were on the roof.
I'm out. Nope. It was not when I was on a roof, okay? Because I slipped on one of those little spiky balls from like that fall from trees. But that's the point. I was in middle school and there were stairs to go up to my classroom, and so I'm going up. My knee just randomly decides to give out and bend, and when I tell you my life flashed before my eyes, where I was just climbing up. I thought I was gonna fall back and like crack my head open.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
terrified. It's like my knee decided to ragdoll out of nowhere. It's terrifying.
I've not had such an event, and I can't imagine. The only thing that I've had, like, I haven't even had cramps or anything. The only thing I've ever had was like, I don't even know. I guess it is a cramp, but like I don't know because I've never heard anyone have it. So like, what'll happen is I'll like open my jaw, right? Like let's say I'm yawning or something,
Ah!
and then
Ah!
it's not even. I don't even know if it's yawning. I'll just like open. I guess I'll open it like too wide, and then
Lockjaw?
And yeah, like I guess my jaw just locks, but not really. I don't know. Is that what it's called? Because like
Yeah.
then
I
that
can
means-
move my jaw.
means, like,
It's just like I have
that-
one one muscle one
Muscle.
muscle that gets stuck.
That's like well, you should get that checked out, cause that means like, cause there's like a. That means it actually went out of like the area it's supposed to be, and you have to pop it back in.
Well, it doesn't pop. It just gets super tense, and then it just untenses.
Oh, yikes!
Yeah.
I've had a.
I don't know
have you ever
why it
had a
happens,
Charlie
and it's
horse?
only no.
Those things suck, dude. I'll
I
be like,
thought it was Charlie the Unicorn.
Charlie
I
the
hate you.
Unicorn. Okay,
Anyways,
buddy.
I'll be like, I've had these a couple times, and there's this one time. It was in the middle of the night. I stretched, dude. Like, you know, those good nighttime stretches while you wake up in the moment. My calf decides to cramp so hard, and I wasn't expecting this, so I start screaming, yelling for my freaking life. And my mom runs. She's like, "What happened? What happened? Are you okay? What's going on?" And then I'm just like, "My calf." And she's like, "You're kidding." And so she's like, "You gotta drink more water." She got pissed off at me. And then she left my room with me just like hurting so bad. Those things hurt.
Right, I've
They
seen
hurt
like
That's
so
just another name
bad.
for like a cramp, right?
a Charlie horse is like a specific cramp. Yeah. I remember seeing, every time I see like my dad or like someone else get a cramp, I'm just like, I'm low-key laughing because I think it's funny just watching them be like, ah, just like stuck in this one position,
Oh
not
my
being
God.
able to move. And I'm really trying not to laugh in the moment. I'm just like, can't relate because I've never had it happen. It just looks so funny to me.
It only happens like when I'm like sleeping and then like I wake up in pain. I'm like, ow.
Yeah, I've also had cramps in my back before. But like not super intense. It would just be for like a little like it'll hurt for like a second and then it'll go away. That's if I stretch too hard though.
The only other thing I can remember having, like hurt, I guess, is one time I woke up, while I was sleeping, obviously, and I was having a dream, and in the dream there was like a hawk flying around, whatever, and so I don't remember what I was doing exactly. But I think I was like trying to get this hawk to go away because it kept coming like towards me and kept swooping down to like hit me. And I'm like throwing my arms, trying not to get hit by this bird. And then all of a sudden, like this bird somehow it gets behind me and it just like slams me in the back of my neck. And I wake up and like fling my head forward, and all of a sudden I just feel this immense pain in my neck. And I literally am like, ow, and I have no idea why that happened. And I was just like, that hurt.
Bird.
Yeah, the freaking bird.
hurt you from across the multiverse.
I don't know what the bird's problem was. It reminded me of the bird from Part 3, Pet Shop. In JoJo,
Oh, yeah.
it just went doom.
Oh my god.
I just got decked in the neck, and I was like, bruh, what? And that actually reminds me of another like morning horror story I had. So, have you guys ever have you ever slept on your arm?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so
I have a story too.
I've never slept on my arm before, and so this is like the first time and only time it ever happened. And I guess I slept on my arm for a really long time because I woke up, I could not move it. It was just dead. And so it was my left arm. Was it my left arm? No, it was my right arm. And so I had no feeling in my whole arm. Like I couldn't move my fingers, couldn't move my forearm, couldn't even move like my shoulder, basically. I don't know how I even managed to do that. And so I remember moving my left arm, and then I was like trying to move my right arm, and I'm like, what is going on? It's not moving. And so I like look at it to try to keep moving it. It is not moving. I'm panicking, and I'm like, I grab my left arm to like pull it off of the pillow, and then I let go and gravity just lets it slam back on the pillow. And I was like, oh no, am I paralyzed or something? And so I start panicking. And I grab my arm by like the elbow, and I run out of my room, and I'm like, Mom, I can't move my arm. I'm paralyzed. But then by this point, like all the blood starts like rushing because I'm literally running with my arm up and down. And then I was like, oh, never mind. I can feel my arm now. But I was so panicked in the moment.
What?
Say it again, Scuba.
Wait, what did your mom say?
Oh no, she wasn't even there. That was the funny part. There was no one in my house, and I was like, oh, never mind, I'm good. Okay, so then I just went back to my room. I was literally panicked for the rest of the day, and I remember telling my parents to be like, you have no idea what happened this morning. I almost died. Not literally, but you know.
Yeah, one time, so like when I was in my old room, I'd have the window open for tunning, and because it was a north-facing window, so when it was cold out, the wind didn't really ever come in, so it was always good. But the rare night, the wind would come in, so I'd close the window before I go to bed. But this time it was fine, so I went to bed, and I just slips on my arm sometimes. So I was on my bunk bed with my arm out, and then he'd sleep on it, and then I fell asleep, and the window was open. And then when I woke up, it was like the cold snow wind was blowing in, and my arm was like just straight out of a blanket, and it was so cold that it was like not moving. Like, oh my god, this is frozen.
Oh, no.
I'm like, ow. So I like went and closed the window, and I'm like, my arm.
Ouch.
Ice.
Had you fix it with like water or something, or did you just let the
put it in a blanket and just went back to sleep?
I'm one of those people who are like super insistent that no matter how cold it is, I must have a fan on.
Yes, me too, dude. No, me too.
I cannot sleep without it. Yeah, I get hot. It
and
sounds
then,
ridiculous.
Also, the white noise is nice too. It just creates a white noise.
Like literally, I remember another story. I was in PR, and so Puerto Rico, there's no air conditioners like anywhere,
Right.
and so at my aunt's house, there was one room that had air conditioning in it. So that's where I was staying with my sister. And that night, like that was the first night. And then all of a sudden, all you hear is and I was like, what was that sound? And then my sister's like, I think the air conditioning turned off. And I was like, don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. It's like, there's no way. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, why do you have to tell me that? I'm already feeling the heat. I'm breaking out into a sweat. No. And I'm like dying. And I'm like, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I'm like, I wish you didn't say anything. I could have slept if you didn't know it was hot. And I'm like dying in this room. I slept horribly that night. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way we're just gonna die here. I mean, I can't with this heat. It's hot. And then the power didn't turn on until like the next day.
Yeah.
Around like I want to say we went to, so the next day, like, we went to the beach, and by the time we got back it was on. But like that whole morning and stuff, it wasn't on. I was like, bruh, how can you we can't with air conditioning? Like, Floridians, like, we need our air conditioning. It's insane.
It's the opposite here, but for like heat. Like, without heat, we'll die.
We need both.
I mean, here
California's such 50-50, dude.
I mean, for us, once it starts hitting like 70 or less Fahrenheit, yeah, that's like 20
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like 20 degrees.
People
21.
out.
Okay, I was
Freak
enough.
out here.
Like
Once it hits
summer.
60, people are wearing like sweatshirts, sweats. Like,
Yeah, they wear hoodies and stuff. Yeah, like sweatpants and stuff. It's insane.
Yeah.
I actually prefer it to be colder, but the thing that kills in Florida is because it's so humid, so it's like a wet cold.
Ugh, I hate that. Nah, because when I went to Florida like years ago, bro, oh my God, this is one time it rained, but when outside it was so humid, I was like, this is disgusting. I hate this.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I
humidity.
came from the UK with my university after we played. And, like, I know that Florida is, like, ridiculously humid, but I had gotten used to, like, England's, like, non-humid weather. Like, I think it was in the 70s, but it was, like, no humidity. It was, like, a slight breeze, if anything. And I was there for, like, 3 weeks. And I was like, oh, this weather is so lovely. And then I come back and, like, the last time I stepped outside was in, like, England. And you have to take, like, 2 flights or whatever. So I finally get to Florida after, like, however many hours, 14 hours or something. And I remember it was midnight specifically. So, like, you wouldn't think it would be bad. And I walked out that freaking sliding door to, like, go to my car and stuff, or, like, to wait outside. And, oh, my God, it was, like, a wall of heat and humidity. Like, you could just punch it, and you would feel, like, it move around you. And I walked into it, and I was like, oh, my God, I live here? What the heck?
Yeah.
I literally was like, this is where I live? And I was like dying for like the next 2 to 3 days, partially because of the time zone. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It's like 5-hour difference, but still, but mostly the heat, man. I was like, bro, I was spoiled being in like 70 degrees, and now I'm like 100 degrees with the most insane amount of humidity possible.
Bro, I hate that, dude. And like in California, it's not really that humid, but when it does get humid here, oh my God, dude, I'm freaking dying. Especially with like curly hair, dude, that goes everywhere.
It's true.
It goes everywhere.
I know that people complain, they're like, yeah, we're hot. I'm like, yeah, you have like a dry heat. Like, we have a wet heat. That is the most disgusting thing in the world.
You're like, I just took a shower. You step outside, you're sweating.
You are. It's insane. Like, here's the thing, right?
Why do people live there? Why do humans live in the dumbest spots? Like, I'm gonna live by the beach where hurricanes come in sometimes. That's a smart place to live. Let's live on a mountain. That's smart. Let's live at the edge of a mountain where a rock slide could happen.
I mean, I don't know. If it looks pretty, why not? The risks aren't outweighed by the rewards, I guess, in their eyes.
I guess.
But, yeah, no, it was horrendous, and I absolutely hated it. And it was funny, because when I went to the UK, these people over here like, apologies for the weather. We understand it's so hot here. And I was like, bruh, it is gorgeous here. It is 70 with no humidity. What do you mean hot? And they're like, because one of the things we had to do was perform outside. And I was like, bro, if I could perform outside in this kind of weather, I would be set for life. Because they were just like, it's so hot outside. And I was like, oh, please. You do not understand humidity. But it was a good time, though. But there's literally like memes around here where it's like, yeah, the most humid place is like the Orlando International Airport. Like you go out of that airport and you're just death. And I didn't know that meme until like I knew of the meme, but like I didn't think much of it until I personally experienced it in that fashion. And I was like, whoa, this is death.
Humidity is not it for me. This is why I live in California.
I know there's
That's not why you live there. You were born.
You were born there. You don't have a choice.
Well, no, because we did live in Arizona for a while, for like 2 years, and then we came back.
Isn't it like hot and humid there too? Or just
it's the same
it's just
thing.
Completely dry. Arizona, no.
Or I mean dry.
Arizona.
Sorry. Yeah, I meant compared to California.
It's just completely dry, but it's so hot, dude.
Or you can cook eggs.
God. Like you can cook eggs outside hot in Arizona.
Well,
But in Cali, it's so nice. It gets bipolar a lot, but it's fine. I'll deal with that. Then
Tell me about it.
Humidity.
I know bipolar. Florida would be like, oh, it's super sunny, and then the afternoon, it's raining and humid.
Yeah, here that's get super hot sometimes. I mean, it's not for you. It's probably cool, but
like it gets
in
hot,
the winter
like,
time one year, my mom had this really like antique fridge that was too heavy to bring inside. Because it was so heavy. It was like 900 pounds or something. It was just the worst fridge ever. But in the wintertime, we had it outside, and we just put our bread in there and just like, used it as a freezer. Like, it wasn't even plugged in. It was just so cold outside. We could just throw stuff in there. So we had an extra freezer that year.
Do you guys have like a big freezer?
Yeah,
I have like, okay, so I have like my fridge, right, which has like the little freezer, but then I have like a huge freezer. I don't know if you guys have that.
Yeah, we've always had like a big one.
I remember before we had that in this house, there's like, so I have a staircase that leads up to here. Under that is where that fridge thing is, or the freezer is. But before that, we used to call it the clubhouse. So I would hang out in there because I was like, yeah, this is like this cool little room that makes no sense. It's for some reason in the build of the house, and this is just my room to hang out. So we would call it the clubhouse, and then they threw the freezer in there, and we were never able to hang out in the clubhouse again because there's a giant freezer. Is the freezer still there?
No, it's the room.
Yeah, it's where the freezer is.
I just put your PC in there.
It's not big at all.
Do
you understand that the okay, whatever. Do you understand this freezer is the reason I got kicked out of it? Like, why would my PC fit in there?
There's this really cool in my cousin's grandma's house. There's this little there's a closet, and then there's this nook above the closet that it's this extra little space. So we would climb in there because there's like room for like a couple of kids in there to just hang out. So it was like a small little room that we could like sneak up and climb in. It was like the coolest place ever.
I have one of those.
I don't.
I literally have that. Like it's like you slide it open and it could fit like a lot of stuff and a couple kids in there.
A couple kids in there. This is kidnapping. Yeah, you can slide a couple kids in there. Keep them.
You just hide a couple kids in there.
I don't know. I was gonna say.
I didn't mean it like that.
You ever just stuff some kids in that room?
That's so sweet.
Oh my god!
At least 9 to 10 kids in there.
You can fit so many cars in this bad boy.
So sweet. I don't want kids.
Oh my god! Funny enough, I have a student today.
Funny
was this
enough.
today? Yeah, no, I don't know if this was today or yesterday. One of the kids teach. No, okay, I remember. It's because there's 2 stories that both involve kidnapping.
They're not. He's a multiple time.
No. So one of my kids that I teach, she's like, what did she say? Something.
Bring me back to my mom.
No. She's like.
Coming with me,
sweetheart. I remember. Okay, so I was talking. I was trying to. So dumb. I got free V-Bucks in this van. No, so I was trying to teach them about it was a music thing, and I was basically explaining like going from a house to like somewhere else and then coming back. And then she's like, why would there be so many kids in this house? Because there's like the class of kids and like me. And I was like, maybe it's a party. And she's like, but who has a party with a bunch of kids? I was like, I mean, it sounds like a kid's birthday party. She's like, I don't know, it sounds like kidnapping. I was like, and so she's like, I was like, oh, I mean, I don't know, it sounds like you were just invited. Oh, okay. And then she's like, oh, this is my house. And I was like, I thought you didn't like kids in your house. And she's like, I know, I kidnapped them. And I was like, what did you kidnap them?
Whoa, hold on. Wait a minute.
And so then I was like, I thought you hated them. And she's like, yeah, well, I don't know, I just kidnapped them. And I was like, okay. And fast forward to today, where I brought my bass so I could play with one of the groups as well as have my kids like play on my bass, whatever. And so then my students are like, hey, Mr. O, do you remember when you brought in, because I brought in my bass before, like for another day, for some of the kids, because this is obviously a camp, so not all the kids have played. And like, do you remember when you brought in your bass before and you put us in your bass case and kidnapped us? I was like, what? And I was like, hello? What are you talking about? And I knew what they were talking about, but I didn't kidnap them, and I didn't even take them and force them into a bass case. They were like, because I was trying to put my bass away, and they're like, can we fit in this case? And I was like, I mean, technically yes. And so I was explaining to them how when I was younger, like around their age, I did the exact same thing. And I was like, I wonder if I could fit in a bass case. And so for those of you who don't know, I'm talking about a double bass. A double bass is like 6 feet tall. And so the case can easily fit like a kid in it, even an adult really. And so I was like, I wonder if I could fit in this. So then I would like zip up the case completely, and you can easily fit in by yourself. Like, and I think I even took like a nap in it when I was like a little kid, or like a high schooler more like. And so these kids were like, can we fit in this case? And I was like, I mean, you can, but why do you wanna? And they're like, oh, I don't know, I just want to see if we can fit. And I was like, okay, well, go ahead. And so then they start trying to go in the case and closing it. And then they're like, this would be great for kidnapping someone. And I was like, what is wrong with you guys? And so then, like, fast forward today, I have, like, another instructor with me, like, someone who I just met her this week. And so they were like, hey, Mr. Rowe, do you remember like when you tried to kidnap us in your case? And I was like, oh my god, this lady is gonna think I got issues. And I'm over here trying to play it off like I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, yes, whatever. And she knows that these kids are kind of crazy, so I was like, okay, good, at least she's gonna think they're just lying. But like, what the frick is her problem? These kids come up with me like with these most random things. And so one of the things I was explaining is you know, like reading music, so like the lines for like treble clef is like E, G, B, D, F.
Yeah.
So I was trying to explain to them like an acronym. So like what's commonly used is like every good burger deserves fries, or every good boy does fine, or
yeah, I'd use that one. Every good boy does fine.
Yeah, so that's like the most commonly one. And so I was like, well, you know, it would be fun. Why don't we make up our own? That was such a horrible idea. And so I was like, all right, what's a word we can use for E? And they're like, every. And then I was like, okay. And then what's a word we can use for G? Grounded. I was like, grounded? Okay, that's kind of weird. I was thinking of like dirt, ground. And then I was like, all right, what's a word for B? And they're like, boy. I was like, okay,
oh, no.
every grounded boy. And then I was like, what's D? And they're like, deserves. I was like, oh boy, where are they going with this? And then I was like, okay, every grounded boy deserves. And they're like, I was like, what's F? And they're like, fire. And And I was like, oh my god, you guys are horrible. I was like, well, as long as you guys can remember what EGBDF stands for, I don't care. And so I was like hoping the next day they would forget. I was like, do you guys remember the lines? Yeah, every grounded boy deserves fire. And I was like, you guys are awful. But it made me laugh. And the other teacher that was helping me, she's just like, oh my god, I can't believe these kids. And I was like, I can't believe them either, even though this is something I should have expected.
It works. They'll remember it.
It works.
They definitely remember it.
Have you gone over the bass clef with them?
No, they're violin players. They don't need to learn how to play
Oh,
bass clef.
okay.
I know, like, ACEG is like all cows eat grass.
All cows eat grass, and then I know good burritos don't fall apart.
I've heard that. Actually, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard good burgers deserve fries always.
I also heard that, yeah.
But I remember when I was really young, trying to learn bass clef didn't make sense to me because I was playing piano, like you, but I was like in kindergarten, and so I was like, what? I don't get it. Why is there a face and then all cows eat grass? This makes no sense. I've also heard all cars eat gas, and that couldn't be a more truer statement in today's day and age.
All cars.
Bro, gas is almost $5 here.
It's officially reached $10 somewhere here.
Oh my god, I'm over here crying and it's like $5 and you're like, yeah, we reached 10.
Like, okay, so like not every place like is $10, but like there is one gas station in LA that it's $8. And then there's one gas station somewhere else that it's $10, but it's mainly like $7 here.
Oh my god, I see it at like it's like $4.75 right now.
You see, that would be really nice.
And I'm like,
that sounds so
I'm
cheap,
crying.
bro.
I'm crying literally. I don't even want to. I know I need gas and I need to go get some tomorrow, but I'm literally looking at the prices like I don't want to go get gas.
You're crying now, but that has been here for a while.
Yeah, but I literally like a couple of years ago was paying like $2 for gas.
Must be nice. Nah, dude. Oh my god, no, it's officially hit like $10.
And you guys are like, come to Cali, you'll have a great time. I'm like, yeah, I'll lose my bank over there.
No, come to Cali, you'll have a great time.
Yeah, I'll be freaking paranoid the entire time because I'm like, there goes my bank account. There goes my bank account.
You'll like the weather, you'll like, well, I don't know if you like the people, but you'll like the people, you'll like the food.
The food? I don't know about that.
Yeah. We have a bunch of food.
I'll be missing all the Puerto Rican food. Every time I go somewhere, I'm like, where's the Puerto Rican food?
We got Thai food, we got Chinese food, we got Japanese, we got Mexican. We don't really have much Puerto Rican food.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
You'll survive.
I know I'll die, but it's okay.
No, you'll survive.
We'll see what happens.
Just live off of Mexican food.
It's not the same. No, it's not.
What? Whoa.
I don't know about that.
This is how wars start.
Because of food debates?
I mean,
the real superior food is
freaking
just
Gordon
potatoes.
Ramsay over there starting it all with Hell's Kitchen. He's like,
potatoes are the best food.
Why? Because you can make potato chips or French fries. Pretty good.
Or tater tots.
You don't even. The only
pierogies or mashed potatoes.
What the hell is pierogi?
I showed you pierogies.
I feel like I definitely heard the word, but I don't.
Filled with potatoes.
I don't.
Okay, it's like a little pastry. You know, like a pizza pop. It's like that, but small, full of potato and cheese.
I want pizza.
That's what you got out of this.
I want
well, you know what I was trying to
pizza.
remember? I was trying to remember poutine.
Poutine is awesome.
I don't like gravy, so I don't
it's
like.
It's like a Canadian thing.
Yeah, I don't know why it's Canadian. It's literally like melted cheese on fries.
It's like
gravy.
the most American sounding thing, but it's Canadian.
Gravy.
You can also do it with chili or beans if you want.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'm with that.
I've never had it.
It's a really good place that has it. Like they put like chili and then they put like green onions and sour cream. That's good.
there's a place here called The Hat, and so they're known for their chili cheese fries and their pastrami dip. Oh, it's so good, dude. Oh my god.
That reminds me of a
chef's kiss.
Have you? What is that place called? Have you ever been to Miller's? Do you know what Miller's is?
I have no clue what that is.
Okay, Miller's. It's called Miller's Ale House. There's this plate. It's called a mountain melt. Okay, and so I tried one. It's like their it's like signature dish essentially. I can send a picture of it to you guys so you can see. Yeah, it looks just like this. Hold on, I'm sending it right now.
Ooh, that looks like...
Oh, that looks so good,
So,
dude.
okay.
Basically a poutine, but without like the chunks of chicken.
Yeah, so it's
I hate
fries,
Okay.
cheese, chicken tenders, and whatever that green stuff is. I don't remember what it's called. And then
green
like,
onion.
Onion.
no, it wasn't scallions. Yeah, sorry, I don't
There
eat
you go.
veggies. I wouldn't know. Anyways,
Oh,
and so
What?
anyway,
Malnourished.
you need veggies.
anyways,
Oh my God.
let me finish my story.
I'm sorry.
So I had seen people order these for a while, and so I was like, that looks like, because it looks like finger food, like it looks like something just greasy. I mean, that's really what it was. And so I was like, I want to try it once, so I ordered a plate of my own, and so
Right.
because that's a meal essentially, and
Right.
I was like, okay, I'll try it. And so then I remember the guy's like, what sauce do you want? And I was like, what sauce do I want? I don't know.
Marinara.
Marinara sauce. I would like some tomato
please.
sauce. No. And so, because I don't really like spicy, but like, I guess I can tolerate it. And he's like, you want hot garlic? And I was like, okay, I guess I want hot garlic. I don't know. I didn't even know what the options were. And so then I tried it. And I mean, I didn't really mind the spice, but I felt so fat eating that thing. I felt I was like, this is the greasiest thing I've ever eaten in my life. Like, holy, why would you want this? And I see people eat it all the time. And after eating that, I was like, I'm probably never ordering this again. Or if I do, I'll like split it with somebody. But I'm not gonna eat this whole thing by myself, because I did it. It was after a concert, and I kind of regretted it because I was ending up going somewhere else after that, and I was like, bruh, I just feel fat. Like, I do not feel good eating this greasy monstrosity of a meal.
You should go to the 626. Oh my god.
That doesn't
So
exist here.
So in California, there's like a thing called the 626 night market, and it's just like it's on just whatever fairgrounds you can find that there is. So there's like the one I went to is in Orange County Fairgrounds, and it's just like a bunch of booths of like food. It's just food, and there's so much good food, bro. Like I ate so much that night. And then there's also like other like collectible booths where like anime stuff, posters, whatever you can find. But the 626, oh my god, there's this one booth that has pork belly fries. Oh my god, dude, when I tell you, it's so good. It's so good.
Speaking of like weird food, the like cowboy convention thing they have here every year.
The what? Excuse me?
It's called the Stampede, but I just call it a cowboy convention because it's pretty much what it is.
Why do you have a cowboy convention though? You're in Canada.
We're the cow town. It's literally the cow town. It's all about like cowboy stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, they have the weirdest deep fried food every year. I'm looking at the new stuff they're adding this year. This is really gross. This is called the Crazy Tongue Pizza.
The Crazy Tongue Pizza?
Okay, vine ripened, naturally sweet crushed tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, slow braised AAA Alberta cow tongue, natural
That's
pineapple,
good.
caramelized onions, and chipotle drizzle.
Now,
Have you ever had lingua?
lingua is cow tongue.
Ligma?
Yeah.
Stop.
Squid ink corn dog.
Squid ink corn dog?
Pop Rocks popcorn chicken. Ew, why would you put Pop Rocks on chicken? Okay, the
I would
deep
try
fried
that.
Oreos.
I can only
are
imagine
really
you be like opening your mouth like.
good. Deep fried Oreos are really good. and they just mixed it with
deep
the mini
fried Oreos.
They are so good.
That sounds so nice.
Honey habanero ice pops, waffle cookie dough ice cream sandwich. That sounds like diabetes.
This just reminds me of the freaking
really
pop
good.
dog that me and I'm talking about.
Those pops.
It's like a ring pop hot dog. You just push it up to get more hot dog with your bread.
Samosa poutine? Oh my god.
You said smoked poutine?
Samosas. You know samosas.
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
It's like poutine with samosas. Ooh, I'm gonna send that to my sister. We have to go and have that.
You're like, time to add that to the list.
Okay, Flamin' Cheeto fries.
You know, I've never had flaming hot Cheetos.
I have. I don't really like them though. Like I'll eat them if I'm like really hungry and I need something to snack on.
You know what,
but like
chips?
I don't really like them.
Glazed donut grilled cheese.
What?
You had me at glazed donut, and then you lost me when you threw it in a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
You lost me?
Cookie dough mini donuts. That looks
Oh.
Oh my god, I want a donut now. I want a donut and I want a grilled cheese, but I don't want a grilled donut cheese.
good. Look at this.
I
Cookie
want
dough mini
candy.
donut.
Dang, that looks good.
You know what?
Holy.
Funny enough, the best donut I've ever had was a vegan donut.
The best glazed donuts I've had are from Krispy Kreme.
Okay, I don't like glazed donuts,
What?
and I also don't like Krispy
You're
Kreme.
gonna hate
What?
this one. Chipotle pickle Philly. It's a shredded beef, cheese, onions, peppers with chipotle sauce, and deep fried pickle chips.
Ooh.
That sounds
Yeah.
so good. That sounds so
I remember when I was
good,
younger,
dude.
like in middle school, people would buy pickles for $1.
Oh, that looks so
That
good,
looks
bro.
nasty.
They even
I
have
Get that out of here.
cotton candy noodles. Look at that.
What the heck? That
Okay,
looks
I
like
would not
that
eat
looks
that.
like it would be like a store logo.
Deep fried strawberries.
Deep fried
I would try that.
strawberries.
I can get with
Bro,
that.
what happened to the
Mealworm hot dog. Ew. Ew, there's worms on it. Ew. Ew.
Would you
I
ever
mean-
eat bugs?
No.
Ew. It has mustard on it.
That's ew, cricket hot dogs.
I mean, I would try it. I don't know. I can't say like it looks appetizing.
But you better
but
believe
try it.
I would have to cut that up to eat it.
Okay, this one
If you
sounded
don't tell
gross
me.
at first.
'Cause, like,
Oreo rice.
Oreo what?
Oreo rice. But I read it. It's cooked with coconut milk and crushed Oreos. It actually seems good. It's like pretty much rice pudding with Oreos on it.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, for that hot dog, the only, like, I don't know if you guys put, like, I don't know if you know what I mean by, like, those fries, like those thin fry things. They're not actually fries, but I'll put those on my hot dogs and put, like,
Oh,
ground.
the like
Things?
3 stick things.
Yeah,
Like
the crispy sticks. Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
it's called. Yeah, I'll put those on my hot dogs, and I'll put, like, not chili. I'll put, like, ground beef. I mean, I guess it is chili. I'll put that on top of a hot dog and put some ketchup in. It's delicious.
This is disgusting.
What is it?
This is. I don't even want to say it. I'm just gonna show you it. What the frick is
It's perfect for you. It's your 2017
No.
cheese and ice cream.
No, with
flavor.
ice cream.
I've actually
as well be at
No.
that rate.
Funny enough, I've actually heard about this before you shared this, and people are like, "Well, it's exactly what you expect it to taste like. It tastes like mac and craft cheese, but in ice cream."
That sounds.
I don't know.
Again, I would.
I wouldn't
try
want
it.
that. They just say
Jalapeno cheesy cauliflower bites.
Okay, that sounds good as.
hollow.
Ow.
Wait, what? Jalapeno cheesy bite?
That looks so good.
Ew, cauliflower. That's
You
It's a
did
vegetable.
not just disrespect.
He doesn't like vegetables.
yeah.
Do you like? So you don't
So
like
he doesn't like
Brussels
Stephen Hawking.
sprouts?
No.
Oh, Brussels sprouts are so good.
Nope.
Maple glazed Oreo donuts. Ooh.
What is this Black
Yeah,
Forest mini donuts? Delicious warm mini donuts layered with glazed sweet cherries, powdered sugar, white vanilla icing, and rich dark chocolate shavings.
I don't think I would like that.
I would take the
Actually-
cherries off and I'd be good.
Actually, no, I would try that. I think that would be good.
That
I'm
looks
picky
pretty
when
good.
it comes to like cherries, because like
That gives me a
sometimes they taste
story.
wrong.
So not for me, but my dad. My dad used to have allergies, right? And so they were like, yeah, what, like the doctor at that time, I guess, he's like, what we can do is get you these shots, and like they'll help cure your like allergies or whatever, essentially. But you have to take it over like a period of time. And so
Right.
my dad's like, okay, I'll do it. He was like, because my dad has like pollen allergies, essentially. But they would get like super severe. Anyways, what happened is he starts taking these shots, and then I guess what they didn't tell, well, like what happened, and apparently this has happened frequently, I guess. He ended up getting more allergies as a result of taking these shots.
No.
And so one of those allergies, or actually a lot of the allergies, ended up being fresh fruit. And so my dad was like gonna eat some cherries. Some guy like picked cherries, and he was like eating these cherries, and he's like, oh yeah, I got some like fresh cherries if you want them. My dad's like, heck yeah, like he loves them because he's been eating them all his life, you know, since he was like little and stuff.
Right.
And so he's like, he takes a bite out of the cherry, and he starts like choking because like his throat starts swelling up. And then the guy's like panicking, obviously. He's like, oh my god, no, I don't know what's going on, because like you saw me, I'm eating them, I didn't do anything to them, I swear, blah blah blah. And my dad's like, no, it's okay, whatever. And so like whatever, that day passes by, and my dad sees like more cherries at like the store, and he like tells my mom, he's like, hold on, I want to test something. So he buys a pack of cherries, and then like takes it home, and he tries like a little bit, and then again it immediately swells up, and he's like, what is going on? He's like, why am I like swelling up? So then like he goes to like the doctor or whatever, and then it's like, oh yeah, so it turns out you're like allergic to a bunch of fresh fruits now, and like certain like nuts as well.
Oh no.
And so he can't eat like anything fresh, anything like for fruit. I mean, it has to all be processed, and he's like bummed ever since. It pisses him off. So he's like, cherries, he can't eat any unless it's processed. And he's like, he always talks about it. He's like, man, I used to eat this all the time when I was younger, blah 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 blah. But poor guy.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you're over here
no.
not eating any vegetables at all.
Well, you know, I used to eat vegetables all the time when I was a little kid, little kid. And then
What happened?
there's a story.
Oh, actually, I know this story.
I
know
think I
what
told
happened.
you. I don't remember.
Yeah, you have.
Okay, so I was in K3 or something. It's pretty much preschool, but before pre-K. And there was like a birthday party, I guess, happening at the school. And so there was supposed to be like cake and whatever. And so I had like eaten everything except the vegetables that day. And like I just wanted cake. Like, you know, I'm a little kid. I'm like, I just want cake. I don't care about some stupid vegetables, especially if there's cake there. And so I was like, I want cake. And so what happens is I remember this lady being like, you cannot have any cake until you eat your vegetables. And like at this point I think I was okay with it, but like that day specifically I did not want to have vegetables. I don't care about vegetables. You're showing me a cake in front of me, like, dude, I want a cake. And so I was like, all right, I was like, no, I want the cake. And so then she pretty much like forced me to eat these carrots, like force fed me to eat them. And I was like, never again. And so like since that day I just don't eat vegetables. And the last time I had vegetables was let's see, was I in high school still?
No way.
How are you still alive?
You know, I eat a lot of meat. No, the last time I had, it wasn't
No.
even shut up. Last time I had vegetables it wasn't even intentional. I had ordered a I think it was a Philly cheesesteak. I ordered one, and I didn't realize that it was coming with jalapenos and with onions. And so
Oh, that sounds
I
so
was
good
like,
right now.
okay, I ordered it, and I was like, oh, frick, it has jalapenos
Onions
and onions.
hardly even count.
Okay, well, here you go, buddy. This is the last time I had any. And so then I was like, bruh, there's no way they put this in my
Wait.
freaking food. What?
I have a question.
Yes.
So then if you don't like vegetables, counting onions and stuff, what do you eat with your burger? Just meat, cheese, bun?
Bacon,
You're
Is
lying
there a
to me right
word?
now.
ketchup.
Is there for the opposite to the vegan?
Yeah, it's me.
Bacon.
Actually, you know, I'm not a big fan of bacon.
I actually don't like
I
bacon.
think bacon's
don't like
overrated.
bacon at all.
I think it's too greasy.
Bacon's
Me
good. But
too.
you gotta get the grease off.
I,
Yeah.
hate
I don't know if it's
Put it
not like
on
because
a
I feel like
towel.
it's either too crunchy or it's like too soft, and like
that.
okay, shut up.
Sometimes that's what
Anyways, you can tell we're getting towards the end of this stupid thing because we're just taking out these jokes. But no, yeah, on my burgers, I don't have.
Have you made bacon yourself?
Have I what?
Made bacon
Bacon
yourself.
No, because I'm not a fan of it. I'm not as.
Well, that's because people make it bad for you. You
No,
gotta
no,
make
no,
it
no,
right.
no. Like I've
No,
no,
not even
it's
then,
just like
bro.
I'm not a huge fan of it. Like I'll eat it, but like, for example, I'll order like a bacon burger or whatever, and like, there's just too much bacon. I'm like, nah.
Right.
Like I want
Or
like
I
a
hate it
slice or
when-
two, not like 5 or 10.
Well, you just gotta put like one piece, snap it in half, and put it on the burger, and it's perfect.
And
I hate it
anyways,
when the bacon comes like hard
it's
on the burger. No.
what? Anyways, so back to the story. Yeah, so that was the last time I had it, and as a result, like I'm trying to eat. I was like, bruh, because here's the thing, right? I was hanging out with some friends, and like I had told them that I don't like veggies, and they did not believe me. Like I was like, no, I don't like it, and they're like, oh come on, just like eat that sandwich. And I was like, oh my god, am I really about to eat this freaking Philly cheese steak with onions and jalapenos in it? And I was like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna like it. And they're like, just eat it, whatever. You're being a baby. And I was like, okay. And so I like took a bite, and I was like, bro, this is disgusting. And it got to the point where I ate a few more bites because I didn't want to waste my money, dude. But I was like, bruh, I can't. It was making me sick. I literally felt like I was gonna throw up.
No
And so-
way.
Onions are so good.
I was like, bro, I'm going to
Yeah.
throw up. I was like, I can't keep eating this. And they're like, no way. And I was like, I can't eat this. Like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. If there was pickles in this, you better believe I wasn't gonna eat it. But I was struggling with like that. And I was like, oh my god, there's no way. I can't with onions. See, the thing is, I don't mind cooking with them though, because I like the flavor like in the food, but I don't like to eat them. Because I remember I was doing like this camp where they were like, this was a while ago. It was like survival camp essentially. So they were teaching us like how to cook on a fire and stuff. And so one of the things they were teaching us is how to cook a burger using aluminum foil in a fire. And so one of the things that we had to like, you know, get peppers and onions and all these other things to like season it, salt and pepper and adobo and whatever. And so I remember specifically putting all of these ingredients inside of the aluminum foil with like the burger or with the patty, and then cooking it all. And then once I finished cooking it, I like took it all out and left just the burger and like put some cheese and whatever else on it, like cheese, ketchup, and I was like, dang, this burger is schmacked. But like for me to eat any of the like vegetables with it, nah, I can't.
So you do just eat it plain and dry.
Yeah, I'll be like, if I order a burger, I'm like, yes, I would like, let's say like I order like a double cheeseburger. I'll have a double cheeseburger, ketchup only, with the cheese obviously, but yeah.
You're like a 5-year-old.
What the heck is this? So you like get a pizza, you're like, I don't want tomatoes on it. I don't want this. That.
Yeah, no,
Just
yeah. If I order a pizza, it's meat. So I'll have
Meat.
I'll have like a pizza with like ham and pepperoni, and or like
You're
I'll eat like a meat lovers
lying.
if anything. But
What do
like
you think about fruit? Do you
I
eat
like fruit. Yeah, I eat fruit.
What?
I'll eat fruit.
So then what's wrong with veggies? You just get grossed out by it?
I don't know what it is. My body just has like a visceral reaction to like not eat vegetables. It's just like nope. Like I'll eat fruit. I'll eat like apples, bananas, grapes, oranges, whatever. I'll eat fruit. I don't mind. But like vegetables. Funny enough, you know what's the only vegetable I could somewhat tolerate? It was spinach.
Potatoes? Oh, spinach?
Spinach, yeah.
Do you eat potatoes?
No, I'll fries.
I I can't believe you don't eat potatoes.
What is
I don't like
wrong?
mashed potatoes either.
I've known this guy for like 3 years, and I'm just learning this now.
Just learning this? I swear I've told you
known
this.
about but like,
I guess you didn't realize
I'm
to like what extent.
No, I think I did know to what extent, but like, I'm just like so disappointed.
Like last week, I got some broccoli and I like rinsed it off, and I was like really hungry, and I'm just like started eating it. I'm like, this is so good. I was just
like, this is busted.
broccoli,
I'm over here like watching you die. Literally, like I will. And here's the thing, right? Actually, funny enough, I had considered recently, like really recently, and I haven't done it, but I've considered trying to eat certain vegetables. So
Well, it depends on if you don't like them plain. You gotta.
well, no. Obviously, I'm not gonna eat them just plain. I was considering adding like lettuce to like my diet, or like maybe like tomatoes. What do you mean big?
Is it like the flavor or like the texture that gets you?
The flavor for most of them is what kills me. Very few things texture-wise bother me. Actually, funny enough, you know what I don't like texture-wise? I don't like, what is that called? I don't know what it's called in English. Let me Google it real quick. Yeah, pollo guisado. I don't know how you say that in English. Or guisado. That's a...
You eat geese?
It's, I'll send you a picture. This is a good picture. I don't like this type of chicken. I really don't.
Oil.
Oh, it's good, but like
It's
annoying
slimy.
You have to work around it. Yeah, when it's slimy, it's bad. When it's not, it's good.
See, I don't like the skin being slimy. I hate that. So I like don't even like eating the chicken period because I feel like the slimy skin just ruins.
And like
it.
eggs.
I'll eat eggs, but eggs aren't.
It's a chicken period. You just thought of eggs.
Okay, I'm Mr. Huevos over here.
Huevos.
No, but I'll eat like non-slimy chicken essentially. But every time that's what kills me though because I guess people would say I'm a picky eater, but I just don't like vegetables. That's all it is. We're like they're picky.
Like peas.
Well, I eat peas.
Like, you make like rice, you put peas and carrots in it, like those.
No. I've had. Did we talk about?
So good.
I'll have pigeon peas. Do you know what pigeon peas are?
No.
Okay, in Spanish they're called gandules. Arroz con gandules. You can look up pigeon peas. They're green. I'll eat those.
Peas are green.
No. There's different types of peas. So pigeon peas.
Pigeon pea.
I'll show you a picture of like arroz con.
I'm looking. They look
con
like
gandules.
olives. Okay, who here likes olives?
I don't. I can't.
I hate them.
Oh,
So I used to like olives. I used to love olives. Like there's this, I would eat them straight
Which
out
one?
of
Black
the can,
olives or
just-
regular olives?
I don't like either.
I don't like either, but I just thought we'd clarify.
Oh, black olives. So it's just a can of just black olives. I ate like that whole can of olives, bro.
Ugh.
All by itself.
I don't like them, but they are
And
good
then-
on some things very specifically, and then I'll have them. But other than that, it's like, no.
And then there's just some point where it's like, I don't. There's some point where I was like, I hate these. I can't take these anymore. Like it just grosses me out so much. Like I can't have olives in anything because it's the same thing with seeds where like you can taste, I guess, the pickles.
Oh my god, pickles are the worst.
Except pickles are actually delicious and amazing in every single way, shape, and form.
See, pickles, I like pickles on things. When it's just a straight up pickle, it's good if you're having it with something specifically. But if it's just a straight pickle, it's like, what is the point? Like, it's too bitter or whatever, and it's just like, it doesn't even have any nutrient value at all.
So you don't
I'm like,
eat
what
it-
is the point of even eating this?
You don't eat it by itself.
I
You just
know.
rub it in.
Bro, you want me to like pass out and die?
If I'm having like, what is it, like grilled cheese and tomato soup, and have that, and then like a pickle every like couple bites, then it works. And like some pickles like on burgers are great. Pickles in certain things are good, but just like if you have a plate with a pickle on it, like no.
I've never
Like,
understood the point of tomato soup. Like, I've seen that people eat it with grilled cheese, but I never
you
got
dip
it.
the grilled cheese in it. It's so good.
Nah. Funny enough, I think I tried it when I was younger. I also remember trying spaghetti. What was it? Oh yeah. What is that thing called? Like spaghetti with tomato and cheese sauce. I think it was nasty.
I don't think cheese sauce should be on spaghetti.
I like cheese. I love cheese.
And that, folks, wraps up the podcast because we made it all the way back to freaking queso frito.
Queso fresco!
I mean, fresco, sorry.
Queso frito! Queso fresco!
Whatever. It's fried or it's fresh. Same difference.
It's not.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
No time for jokes, but girl.
Today's episode was sponsored by
Food.
the Scoop Armor.
Food and bathrooms and more food and horror
Food
stories.
is love, food is life.
Yep. Just like Shrek quoted. Well, thanks everyone for taking the time to
Eat your vegetables. Everybody eat your vegetables.
Yeah, if you made
Don't
it
be
this
like
far, comment you eat your vegetables. I don't know.
Somebody give Caesar some kind of recipe to make.
Let me tell you.
People who don't like vegetables.
Let me tell you, Karen literally was like
Yes.
mind blown when I'm explaining how I don't like vegetables. And she's like, I thought you were like exaggerating. And I was like, no, I don't. And Karen's mind was breaking. She was literally like, but you don't like anything. And it was like, I said that.
Yikes.
And she literally was like interrogating me for like a solid like hour on things I would not eat. And I was like, nope, won't eat it. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't even eat mashed potatoes.
So Caesar doesn't eat vegetables. Juanes only eats one meal a day, and I eat expired food.
What do you mean I eat
Oh my
one meal
God.
a day? I do not eat. Oh, wait.
I'll eat
What did
one
I-
full meal, but then I'll have like
What did I
a
eat
late
today?
dinner, meaning like
Actually, I
after
should
the
eat right now.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna do that.
Because, like,
I got hungry.
I got mad
I only
hungry.
had one thing today.
I might eat like I don't know, maybe PB&J or something. Nothing crazy.
But jelly
Maybe I
is
won't.
made with fruits. Wait, is it peanut considered a vegetable?
A peanut is
A nut.
It grows in a
it's-
plant.
No, it's a
It's a
it's a nut.
Nut.
Thanks for
Probably ended
watching,
up.
guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the C-Zone. If you'd like more, leave a comment, like, subscribe. If you're on
Oh, good.
Spotify, I don't know how it works on Spotify, so like, I guess.
Just think of which
Share
nut you
it.
like.
Yeah, come back to us and tell us
Oh
a
my
fruit
God.
or vegetable you would like us to all eat. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Nuts.
Nuts.
That's a good
Nuts.
Nuts. Nuts.